Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is clearly audible to all of you and I'm visible as well. May I get a quick confirmation over the YouTube chat box? Am I audible and visible to you? That is awesome. Okay, let's wait for a few minutes for rest of them to join. Okay. Mm. So let's begin with AAA orientation for December 2025 attempt. So today we are going to discuss a lot of things here. We're going to discuss about the planner for December 2025. Plus, we are also going to discuss the strategies to pass this paper, advanced audit and assurance. So I've heard a lot of students, they have this fear instilled that is inherently there that AAA is a very difficult paper to pass. It's having a very bad pass percentage. So most of us are literally very scared and doubtful that first of all, should we pick this up as an optional paper or not? So we are going to have a very light discussion on the subject audit. Now, there are people who are coming from a background who were exempted from AA, that is audit and assurance. So they have no idea what is there in advanced audit and assurance. So I have seen such people. Now, if you were exempted from 9 papers, of course, you have not given PM, you have not given FM, you have not given taxation. So you don't know what will be advanced financial management, advanced performance management, or advanced taxation. So you lack information there as well. Similarly, you lack information for audit as well. Now, the question is, should I pick up audit or not? See, I can give you a generic answer that yes, pick up audit and assurance, but I won't do that. I would rather say it depends on your interest. The first thing that you have to see as a student while choosing an optional paper is that are you interested in audit as a student, as a person who has to study it for a long period of time? You might have to study for hours for this subject. And if you pick up something which you don't like, and then you end up like, regretting, you'll waste your time, money, resources, everything. So it is better that beforehand only we make a wise decision that whether we like audit or not. Now, how would you come to know whether you like audit or not? Many people, they think that audit is theory subject. Audit is all about theoretical principles. Audit is all about that, okay, there are certain things that I have to cram and write it as it is. No. Audit is a very practical subject. Audit is something which is purely application based. It comes from like skepticism, judgment. It comes from your common sense application. It is clearly not something that you can just cram and crack. So, yes, audit does not involve numbers. Audit does not involve calculations, but that does not mean that it is theory. That does not mean that this is totally cramming. Audit is, when I say audit is practical. Now, what do I mean by the word practical here? How can it be practical? For that, you need to understand what exactly audit is. See, audit is when an auditor has to see that the financial statements prepared by a company are true and fair or not. So it's just like checking a paper. So imagine if I was checking your SBR paper. So what are the things that I should know before checking your SBR paper? That ma'am, you should have passed SBR. Secondly, you should be well to do with SBR. You should have an updated knowledge of SBR. Then only you can check our paper. Now, similarly, when auditor is checking financial statements of another company, he also wants or he should also be someone who knows about the financial statements, who knows about the IFRS. Then only he can check, no? Otherwise, it will be very, you can say, chaotic for everyone to believe the auditor. So, auditor is coming as a person who's checking the financial statements, and imagine he does not know how the financial statements are prepared. So, as an auditor, you need to be very good with IFRS. So, as a person who wants to pick up audit, just think, are you interested in IFRS? Were you amazed by IFRS when you sat for SBR? That's how you will come to know whether you are good in audit or not. So audit and SBR are interlinked way too much. They have like a 60% overlap. So first imagine yourself in the paper of SBR and then decide whether you want to pick audit or not. So if you were good at SBR, if you enjoyed SBR, your next choice, the consecutive quarter, should be AAA. So don't ever think that I will not pass SBR, first I'll give audit. That is not at all advisable. First pass SBR, then pick up audit, or do them simultaneously. That's also a very good strategy. Many people have followed it, but only the people who are full-time students can do that. So basically, if you were good in SBR, you can pick up AAA. Now you got to know that as an auditor, I need to check financial statements. So automatically, I should know how financial statements are prepared at the first place. And then only I can check whether a company is preparing the financial statements correctly or not. Now comes the question that why do we need audit? Why is this whole process of audit being set up? What do you think? We're just discussing. This is not a syllabus class, of course. This is not something that you have to cram or learn. So without any burden, why do you think we need audit? Why a company needs audited financial statements? See, the first reason is that the shareholders of a company, they do not trust the people who are running the company. So the person who's owning the company is different from the person who runs the company. Owners are the shareholders and the runners are the directors. And the shareholders, they do not trust the directors. Now they want someone to keep an eye on the directors. Are they doing everything correctly? Are they doing any mistake? Are they doing any fraud? Is there any non-compliance with laws and regulations? Whatever they're communicating to us in the form of financial statements, is that true? Is that fair? Is there any, manipulation, window dressing? So that's what they want to know as shareholders, which is why which is exactly why this person named auditor is brought into the life of a company, brought into the life of the directors to keep an eye on them, to check their work, to see whether they are lying or whether they are truthful, up to the maximum extent possible. So if you say something, I cannot judge it 100% whether you are lying or whether you are saying it truly. But I can give a reasonable assurance that based upon whatever work I would have performed, whatever investigation I would have done, that whether I believe that statement that you passed was true and fair or not. So that is what an auditor does. Just because the shareholders cannot trust the directors. Right? So in this process of audit, you will see a lot of practical case studies where a lot of investigations will happen. You will perform a lot of work. The company is saying that we have a property of $1 million, which was depreciated, which was impaired, or there was a flood and we got some compensation from the government. There were pandemics, so there was a grant from the government, aid from the government. So all these facts, the company is stating, the directors are stating, but the shareholders are like, we need to confirm it. And how can we confirm it? We will appoint this person as auditor. He will go to that company. He will check all the papers. He will see whether whatever the company or the directors are saying is truth or not. So when I am doing that as an auditor, I will obtain the papers, the grant papers. I will obtain, or maybe I will do a physical inspection of the site which is affected by the flood. I might actually go and check what is the impairment, on what basis have they calculated the impairment. So I'll do a lot of stuff which is practical, and it is totally dependent upon the person's mindset at that point. What will the auditor do to check whether there was actual flood or not? So auditor A can do something else, auditor B can do something else. So there can be no clear rule for it. So it is all based on judgment, knowledge, training, and experience of the auditor, which is why this subject is very practical. It is not at all about cramming. Yes, there are certain direct theory questions, certain direct, you know, things, ISAs that you have to learn as it is. But mostly this paper is about practical application, that in a given scenario, what you would do as an auditor. Correct? So this is what we have. So let me now just share my screen with you to make you understand things on the Word. Whatever we have on the Word file will be shared with you after the class as a attachment in the description box. Okay. So what is audit? See, audit is where, first of all, audit is performed because the shareholders do not trust the directors of the entity, which is why the directors communication to shareholders in form of financial statements is subject to scrutiny by the auditor, who is appointed by shareholders. What is the objective of audit? The audit is conducted so that auditor can give his opinion on whether the financial statements are true and fair or not. How do you decide whether the financial statements are true and fair or not? The auditor compares the presented financial statements with the suitable criteria. So basically, what is the suitable criteria for financial statement? It is IFRS. So we in SBR have studied about IFRS. So basically, we compare whether the financial statements prepared by the entity, they comply with IFRS or not. And then as auditors, we actually give our opinion whether the financial statements are true and fair as per the IFRS compliance or not. That is exactly what audit is. Now, what are the steps involved in audit? What are the works which the auditor is going to do? You need to understand that, like whole process of audit. See, first of all, what happens is that you put a tender as an auditor, you do the tendering process. So you look out for the companies and you're like, okay, I want to do audit of you as a client of mine. So you put a tender. Now, once the tender is being put, and let's suppose the tender is accepted, now you will perform acceptance procedures. That means you will decide now, because the tender has been accepted. So you will again see, is this client something good for you as an auditor? That means, is there any ethical threat? Do you want to accept this person as your client? Or do they have any issues or any background problems? Like maybe they're involved in money laundering, or maybe they are having a political exposure. So you look at the background of the client, or maybe they're not good persons. And then finally, you sign the engagement letter with that client, right? You sign an engagement letter. After signing the engagement letter with that client, finally, you start with the planning of the audit. Because without planning, today we are doing planning for our paper. Similarly, when you do conduct audit, you actually plan what are the risky areas, what work can be performed, where I can get the best evidence from, what is the best way I can deal with this problem. All of that thing happens. So first I do the tender, then I do the acceptance procedures, then I have an engagement letter, then I do the planning meeting. Now, once planning is done, the next step is that I will now actually start performing work. Because planning means I've found out what are the risky areas in the financial statements. Let's suppose there is some transaction which has happened abroad, any property that you've purchased abroad by the company, or there is some expansion which has happened during the year. Maybe you have acquired a new company. So, all of those are risky areas. Now, you will decide and actually do some procedures. Now, procedures are the work that you conduct. So, work conducted by the auditor. So, how will you conduct the work? You'll actually start seeing whether what is being reported is true and fair or not. For that, you might have to obtain certain things, you might have to recalculate, reperform, you might have to go to the field, do physical inspection, do inspection of the people, do inquiries with the people, discuss with the management. You can do various things. So you will conduct a lot of procedures. After the procedures are being done, you will collect the evidence that yes, we did conduct some work due to which we have reached to a conclusion that whether the financial statements are true and fair or not. So I need to collect an evidence for that yes, the work was performed. Once the evidence is collected, after the procedures, the evidence is collected. Evidence should always be sufficient and appropriate. Evidence should always be sufficient and appropriate. Now, once procedures are done, evidence is collected. The next step is to review that whatever work was done is correct or not. So maybe the audit junior's work will be reviewed by the senior's work will be reviewed by the engagement partner, but there will be a review of work being done. Then finally, you will report your opinion. Since now you've done all the work, you have collected evidence. Now you will report. That means you will frame an audit opinion that whether actually the financial statements are true and fair or not. Then the reporting will happen. The actual objective of audit will be met. Audit report will be made. Right? So these are the steps which are involved in the audit process. So now, out of these steps, our syllabus area is made. This part where we talk about the acceptance procedures and the initial part where you accept the client, I've classified it as small area of your syllabus. We call it as small area or small ISAs, where we get to know what are the contents of tender document, what are the contents of engagement letter, what are the acceptance procedures. Then there's a concept of non-compliance with laws and regulations. Then you have fraud, like what are the responsibilities of the auditor for fraud. So all these are classified as small ISAs in your portal. Okay. Then we have engagement letter. We've done till third point. The next unit or the next block is audit planning. Now here what we are talking about is we will assess risky area. So we will talk about business risk and we'll talk about audit risk. So as a business, what are the risks faced by the company? And as an auditor, what do you think are the risky areas in the financial statements? Then finally, you will have procedures, the work which is conducted on the audit process. So what procedures and evidence is one stage? This is basically the actual execution of audit. So this is where we will learn how to make procedures for certain IFRS, certain transactions, account balances, and how to make evidences for the same. Then finally, we have the section of review and reporting. This is the whole process of audit. And that's how the syllabus is being divided as well. Right? So now, question arises that why certain people, they flunk this paper. Why are people are not able to pass the paper in the first go? See, we have a very less pass percentage. The pass percentage of this paper is very low. It is in 30s. So it is one of the lowest pass percentage in the whole ACCA journey. Now, what is the reason that people are unable to pass this paper in the first attempt? And this can happen to you as well. How can this happen to you? See, if you are taking this exam for granted, okay, and if you think that, oh, I will just, randomly just go through the theory part and I'll pass, if that's what your mindset is. Or if you are someone who believe in that I will do last minute studies. The major reason people fail this paper is less focus on application. Because see, this exam has 80 marks technical and 20 professional marks. So here I need good language, professional words, and I have to have time management all at once. So there I have to focus a lot on practice. This can only come with practice. That I'm writing good answers, I'm writing it in well in time, I'm using professional words, I'm not, exceeding the time limit. All of that needs practice. And now, if you do not do the practice and you expect yourself that, okay, because syllabus of AAA is very easy. So you might feel overwhelmed that, oh, I know this, I know that, this is so easy, this is so easy. But when the practice part comes, you might feel like, I know nothing. I'm unable to answer the question. So practice is what is going to make the whole difference. And that's what we focus in our batch at TG Professionals. This is what we focus a lot on. There is a full section of kit question debrief. We do the recent BPP kits questions as super 20 questions in the live sessions. And that's what the core course content at TGP is. It's all about practice, practice, and practice. So the major reason why people are failing is they're not doing enough practice. They're not writing mocks. Now see, if you don't write mocks, how would you know that whether you are doing the paper well in time or not? How would you know whether you're writing the correct thing or not? So syllabus coverage is not going to be a problem. The reason that we fail is practice part, application part. So that's what we have to focus on, right? Now, a little bit information about how the course works at TG Professionals. So if you are already enrolled, I'll let you know how to follow the course. But the ones who are planning to enroll, because this session will be uploaded as a recording as well, so maybe some other people will also view it. So you can just visit the website tgprofs.com. You can apply 10% off coupon code, which is there, which is an early bird discount for December attempt. Now, once you have actually enrolled, the access is granted automatically. So whatever email you have registered on the website, you will get the access on that email. In case you have issues with the portal, you can reach out to us at this number. And this turnaround time on WhatsApp is going to be 24 hours. Okay. So once you WhatsApp, you're going to receive a reply in 24 hours maximum. We try to reply within 6 to 7 hours because there is timing difference. So maximum time it can take is 24 hours, right? So this is how you can enroll into the course. Now the question arises that once you're enrolled, what are you supposed to do? So how to study? See, this is what I am telling you, not just if you enroll with me, but even if you're enrolled somewhere else, this is what you can follow, because of course you must have taken certain lectures, but of course listen to your tutor as well. But this is a generalized approach which you should follow. This is what we follow at TGP. Once you enroll, you will say bye-bye to the BPP study text. So what we are going to do, we are going to watch lectures. They are a direct substitute to the BPP study text. Then you are given notes. So you're going to follow the notes. Okay, AAA notes are given to you. You will get them printed, get them spiraled, keep it with you on your study table. So you have an e-note, you just get them printed from a shop, get them spiraled and keep it with you. So watch the lectures, read the notes. These are the two most important things. You cannot even skip one page of the notes. Notes are very important, lectures are very important. Third thing that we are going to do is we are going to do practice on the weekends. As I said, my focus is practice in the course. So I'm going to do weekend live class, that is every Sunday at 8 p.m. Indian time, starting from next to next weekend. Okay. This weekend we'll keep free because people are still joining the course and we will start slow. But from next to next weekend, we are going to start with the practice days. So Sunday 8 p.m. Indian time is going to be our every week schedule for practice, doubts, everything. It might take us 2 hours, 3 hours, doesn't matter, but we are going to practice, practice, and practice. So I'm going to give you a weekly plan, and following that, after the week is over, on the weekend, we are going to do practice for the stuff we did during the week. Once you have done the practice, now you will sit for your assignments. So for every unit, there are going to be 6, like there will be total 6 units and 6 assignments. So there will be 6 assignments and then there will be mock. Okay, one mock is there, which is checked, and another mock is just debriefed. So mock 1 is checked, mock 2 is just debriefed. So this is what we have as a process to study. No study text here. Exam kit, yes, we are going to use BPP exam kit, the most recent one. And there are certain questions which I've solved from the old exam kit as well. Those are optional questions because audit has not changed over the number of years. It is still same. The same kind of question keep on rotating with different names and everything. So you can even refer to old questions also if you want. Otherwise, we have the latest exam kit that we follow, right? Then what else do you have? After you're done with the exam kit, after you're done with the practice, we are going to do grand revisions as well. So just before your exam, like 4 to 5 days before your exam, we have a session termed as grand revision. We also have super 20 question workshop, right? So all these will happen in the month of November. Super 20 workshop will happen in month of November. Grand revision will happen in the month of November. So all these things are included in your course package. Correct? Okay. Now this is the planner that I've prepared for my students at TGP. Now, if you are a self-study student, you can also follow that. The first unit that I've kept is ethics, money laundering, and small ISAs. What are the small ISAs? Like client acceptance procedures, no CLAR, fraud. Then you have your, engagement letter, the tendering process, rules on advertisement, all that stuff. You are supposed to do from 14th of September till 27th of September. Okay. So 2 weeks I've given to you for this. Why? Because we want to start slow. We don't want to rush in the first go only. We will start slow. Everyone will settle in. They will learn and they will see how the portal works, how everything works. There will be a tutor assistant to help you with your queries on WhatsApp. So you learn all that process. And that then on 28th of September, we are going to have a live class on this topic, right? Then audit planning. business risk and other theory areas of audit planning, like what is the difference between audit plan and strategy, how you identify the risky areas, how do you understand your client, all of that stuff. We're going to do 1 week of it from 28th September to 5th of October. And then we are going to meet on Sunday on 5th of October for this area, where I'll solve some 25 to 30 marker question with you, where we will do the audit planning and the business risk part. Then audit risk, procedures and evidence. This is like heart and core of audit. This area is heart and core of audit, where I will teach you one IFRS, okay, which is from SBR, and its related audit risk and procedures in the same class. So that is why I believe I don't think there's anyone out there who's teaching audit and teaching IFRS simultaneously. So that's what you can expect here at TG Professionals, because I'm teaching SPR since years now. So I'm teaching AAA because I'm good with IFRS and I love IFRS. So I will teach you IFRS and I'll teach you its related risk and its related procedures. Okay. So that is going to be for group audit also, like group accounts also, and for individual accounts also. So you're going to do this from 6th of October till 11th October with a live class on 12th of October. Then the next live class after 7 days on 19th of October. All are at 8 p.m. Indian time. Then you have review and reporting area. Now you know all these areas. I've already debriefed you. What do you mean by each of the terminology? Then from 19th of 25th October, you are going to do review and reporting, and your live class will be on 26th of October. Other assignments. Now, this is something which you have not seen before. Now, I've taught you about audit, but just like audit, there are some other assignments also which the auditor can give to the client. For example, they can give some non-assurance services. What could be the example for it? Like review, engagement. Maybe you have to just review certain things. Maybe cash flow forecast. I don't know if you have ever seen this or not, but whenever a bank grants a loan, they want a company's cash flow. So they want someone to review the cash flow, whether it is true and fair or not. Then only the bank will agree to it. So there is a kind of assurance given to the bank that yes, the cash flow forecast is correct. Then there can be some fraud investigation. So forensic investigation. There can be some due diligence. Due diligence is basically when you are planning to buy a new company. So you hire the auditor so that he can check whether the new company is genuine, the assets of the new company are genuine or not. So those are the other assignments that we are going to cover. The last topic of our AAA from 26th October to 1st November. And 2nd November will be the live class for it. And then finally, of course, we are going to have our grand revision, where we will cover all the theory areas, any technical articles that needs to be considered. That is what we are going to do in the grand revision. That's it. So this is what the planner looks like. See, you have to consistently follow this plan if you are planning to give the paper in December, because then you don't have any other choice. Because AAA requires a lot of practice. So by completing the syllabus by 1st of November, I am making sure that my practice starts well in time. Like I need to literally start the practice from 1st of November. Now here also I'm practicing. In the live class, I'm practicing only. So it's not like I'm keeping the practice till the end. But still on 1st November, I'm starting full-fledgedly just the practice. For that, I give you an ultimate planner, which is basically if you have studied SBR with me, you would know this. Ultimate Planner is a day-wise practice schedule with videos on the portal, which you will view along with the planner. Every day schedule that, okay, these are the questions you have to cover to practice these areas. And this is the debrief on the portal, which you can refer to. Right? And then finally, you will have your mocks and then you have your grand revision. And that's how the course will be completed. That's how it is being completed since years now. So this is how the process of the course works. And if you are a self-study student doing by yourself, doing from somewhere else, make sure in any case, by 1st November, you are done with your syllabus. No procrastination. Practice full-fledged needs to get started by 1st of November. Right? So this is what we have as a process of audit, and this is the planner for audit. Let's now quickly talk about the format of the exam before I go with question and answer from you guys. Format. See, the format is quite simple. The question number 1 of my paper is going to be for 50 marks. So half of the paper is question number 1. This will involve audit risk, business risk, could be there as well. Basically, audit planning area, right? That's why I said that is the core content of the syllabus. There can be certain things on procedures as well. So they can ask you make procedures for a relevant IFRS, right? Then there can be a question from ethics as well here. Quality management, all of that stuff can be asked. Quality management is a direct theory question. Its application happens along with ethics only, right? So this is what you can find in question number 1. Then question number 2. This is going to be for 25 marks. And this is going to usually, okay, this question is going to be from a requirement which says, discuss the matters to be considered. In the certain exhibit, matters to be considered. So generally there I talk about the relevant IFRS, okay. And after talking about the relevant IFRS, they ask me to develop procedures regarding that. They ask me to develop procedures regarding that particular IFRS. And then question number 3 will again be from various areas, but it will always have review and reporting. Again, this is going to be for 25 marks. So I cannot predict from where I get my questions from question 2 and question 3. But I know for sure that question number 1 is going to be from audit risk or business risk. So that is the planning part of the audit. Right? So that's how the paper looks like. And within the whole exam of 100 marks, there will be 20 professional marks. And when I practice question with you, I tell you exactly how you get the 20 professional marks. Right? So this is what we have in advanced audit and assurance. Now I am open to the doubts from the students attending the session. So please go ahead with your queries in the chat box. Let's see what doubts we receive. Okay. Fine. Anyone doing self-study, okay? Is the past paper question debrief will be there? Yes, of course. Past paper debrief, if I don't give you that, then it is incomplete. There's no point of studying if you don't have a past paper debrief. Then, which study text must be used? BPP. I prefer, or to my students, I give them the notes. But if you're doing self-study, BPP is to be referred for audit because it's a theory-based paper. Ma'am, I'm planning UK version since I want to move there. Moreover, it's just an additional one topic. Should I expect different paper or just an alien exam? Can I ask my doubts for that? Apurva, if you've given SBR UK version, then only AAA UK version will be good for you. But if you have not given SBR UK, then there's no benefit, or I don't know if you can pick up AAA UK or not. And because you need to know UK gap. So it's just like in SBR, you used to have UK gap. Similarly, you're going to do audit of those standards as well. So yes, it's a very little small area which is different, but I do not teach AAA UK version. I teach AAA international version. Okay. Ma'am, like you mentioned initially, I was exempted from AA. So in that case, what additional sources, topics must I study to ensure that I understand AAA content properly? So Rudrapriya, on my portal, I have given you certain basic videos of AA. So those are from my AA classes when I used to teach, I think around 2020. But as I said, the concepts have not changed. And those are additional videos. Those are not AAA videos. Those are AA videos. So that's like where I've given you an idea of what audit is. How do you get to know about inventory count? What is inventory count? What are good received notes, good dispatch note? Like very basic ABCD of audit is what I have given there. So those are basic classes. They are introduced or they are there on the portal just for people like you who are exempted from AA and they don't know the basics of audit. So you can watch them and you can understand it better. So that's the only resource that you have to cover extra. Okay. Ma'am, could you tell something about combined planner? Yes, Vishnu, if you just YouTube combined planner of SBR and AAA, you will find my video on it and you can just follow the same plan for your particular attempt. So there's nothing changed in that plan. You can just align it for yourself. Okay. Like it's a weekly plan. So you can, if you're starting today, so you can adjust that, okay, week 1, I have to do this, week 2, I have to do this. Should we do SBR first or AAA? Of course, SBR. Either do them together or first SBR and then AAA. Can we not use Kaplan? You can use. I just advise that BPP is better. Rest, it's all your choice. I cannot stop you from doing something, but it's just my advice. So currently we should start with the recorded lectures, right? Yes, Aditya, exactly. Go on with the recorded lectures along with notes. Get them printed, put them on your study table and begin with the preparation. Why students still fail even after practicing and preparing? Really good for AAA. You do not exactly can guarantee. See, in SBR, if you study well and you practice well, you pass guaranteed. But in AAA, we can't guarantee you that. Even after everything as per you is going right, still you can get a shock for AAA. Reason is that there is a certain level of professionalism that you have to apply. And in the first go, very rare people, they understand or they actually look at that paper like that. Even if I would say multiple times verbally, because the same people in a batch, they're passing in the first go, and the same people in the batch, they're passing in the second go. So there's no difference in the teaching, right? But still, why is it happening? The reason is that we do not actually take things seriously in the first go. We think, okay, let it be. So, for example, you can't use simple language in AAA. You have to be very specific with your words. You have to use very professional words. So, the reason that I say keep notes with you, keep on studying them rigorously is so that you pick up those words from the notes. You retain those words so that you can write it in the paper as it is. Right? So people take that non-seriously. Like, okay, I'll write it in my own language. Now, your own language can be troublesome. Your own language can be unprofessional. For example, using pronouns, calling auditor as him, saying IFRS instead of International Financial Reporting Standards, unprofessional. So repeating your, like for example, in SBR, we used to give background that this happened, that's why this implication. In AAA, no backgrounds. Just start with, it's like you're communicating to your senior. So I was checking one of the papers in AAA. The question said that your engagement partner has sent you an email, okay? And you are replying to that email as a junior or as a manager, and you are explaining what the senior has explained to you. So the exhibit is basically what the senior has given to you as an email. Understand it. The question says that this is what the senior has written to you. You have to identify audit risk out of it. So you are picking up words of your senior only, explaining him his words only, and then typing the implication. So is that mindful? Is that something that you would do and get marks for? No. So the marking in audit is very strict. They want professionalism. You are talking to your senior. You can't just repeat your points. You can't just repeat his points. And you can't use unprofessional words. It's more like a corporate life. So you're writing an email to your engagement partner. So you have to be very specific. Right? That's one of the major reasons why people fail. And that's all coming under application. That's all coming under how to type an answer. Syllabus, super easy. Application, not so easy. So that's why it is difficult to pass in the first go. Recently gave SBR, not sure if I'll pass. What should I do? I think you should start your preparation for AAA if you are ready to give this paper. That even if you get your adverse result on like mid-October, so you can decide to give both the papers together so that your 1 quarter is saved at least. And that's my advice. Rest, it's your personal choice, whatever you want to give based on your, how do you see yourself? Do you have time to waste, or do you have time to linger on, or do you think, okay, I'm a slow learner, I can just take one paper at one time? Then you can just wait for your results of SBR. But then it's very difficult to pass, start AAA from the scratch on 15th of October. You can, but it will be difficult. So that I'm telling you first only. So you can start AAA now and wait for your results as well. If it comes adverse, you can pick both the paper, otherwise go ahead with AAA. That's my suggestion. This is my last paper. Do I think can pass with just 2.5 months? Yes, yes, of course. One cannot do AAA without first doing SBR. Why? Because Winnie, it's not that it's a rule. Of course, you can pick up, but in AAA, it's like AAA is like, I always say it's like a burger, okay? And the stuffing inside the burger is of IFRS. Now that stuffing is coming from SBR. So how can you make the burger without the stuffing? You need something inside the burger, right? So if you have not done that, or if you're not right now doing that, you can't do AAA alone. AAA is just like a framework of audit, but inside the core, the content is IFRS only. So yes, I need to do IFRS first, and then only AAA is possible. Either I'm doing simultaneously IFRS and I'm doing AAA simultaneously, or I've done IFRS, now I'm doing AAA. I hope that makes sense. No. The AAA notes, they are available on the portal, or you can WhatsApp me on the group. If you are enrolled, you must have been added into a WhatsApp group. So you can message me there, and yes, you can get the notes there as well. Okay, what if I don't pass SBR but still want to give AAA? You have at least studied for SBR, okay? And if you don't pass SBR, you will do SBR and AAA together, right? So again, it becomes simultaneous. So that's okay. Ma'am, the live class will be conducted only on weekends, and rest all chapters we have to do. Yes, exactly, Kevil. Ma'am, we can extend the batch if we feel in the midway that we want to take more time for study, like in SBR. There was, yes, Apurva, the extension policy still is same. You can extend your AAA classes to March 2026 quarter only if you inform this to me by 15th of October. That is the result date of the September attempt. And this is only applicable for the regular batch and only for the students who have not extended their course before. Okay, so when you're enrolling on the website, it's clearly written, the extension policy. On the first instance, it is written that yes, extension is possible, because it's very much understandable that once you get your results, you might get something adverse or something different, which is why you can change your decision of picking that paper up. So you might want to defer your course. That's okay. It's free of cost. You can extend, right? Okay. There will be live classes on concepts and topics, and those will be uploaded on portal to watch later on. Keval, there will be recorded classes which are already available on the portal, and on the weekends, we will meet for your doubts and practice. Yeah. Ma'am, what do you mean by professional words and simple words? Okay, very nice question. What do I mean by professional words and simple words? For example, imagine a situation where in a company, a possible fraud is going on. Ma'am, what kind of fraud? Let's assume the person who is maybe who's responsible for sale invoices. The person who's making you've seen a person sitting on the counter. Let's talk about a small store. the person who's making the bill. So as the customer makes the payment, the person is making the bill and handing it over to the customer. We have all seen that person on a grocery store. Yes. Now that person and the person who posts that bill on the accounting software are same people. The person who actually makes the bill and the person who's posting the bill or the invoice on the accounting software are same people. So what can happen is this person can make fake bills and can post it as well without any check, without any authority, without any authority. There is no authorization. There's no one who's checking it or allowing him to do so. So this person, let's suppose, is doing a fraud. He's showing bogus sales, fake sales. Okay. And he's posting the invoices which are false because he has the power to do so. He can make the invoice also and post it also. There's no one to check it out. Correct? So now let's suppose as an auditor, you identify this fraud. When you go to the grocery store, you see this person doing this random stuff and you identify it. So now what is its implication? The question asks you in the paper that what are the implications of this fraud? Now, as a student, if you write, this means that the person on the billing counter was given unnecessary power and he actually was able to conduct the fraud because the control was weak. This implies that there is possibility of more frauds as well. Let's suppose you wrote this. To you, it might sound correct. But yes, this is correct. What's wrong here? Of course, this person could have conducted more fraud and this has happened because the controls were weak. But what are the professional words here? How could I have written a professional answer? I would have first stated, to begin with, I would have stated that to avoid fraud, first thing is that the internal control should be there in place. And the first internal control that should have been there is that there should be proper segregation of duties so that there can be not a possibility of fraud. So the person who's making the invoice and the person who's posting the invoice should be two different people so that they cannot collude, they cannot conduct any fraud. That's the first point. Now, since the fraud has actually happened, what is the implication? The implication number one, that as an auditor, I need to be professionally skeptical now. Because this person has committed fraud, there can be possibilities of rest of the internal controls also getting weakened, which is why there's a possibility of further frauds as well. But as an auditor, do I have a responsibility for fraud? No. I have a secondary responsibility. My responsibility is that if I have seen a fraud happening, then I become skeptical and then I gather the information that in which circumstance was the fraud happening. So I will look at the nature of the fraud, the circumstance of the fraud, the loss which has happened due to the fraud. I will quantify that as an auditor. And after doing all of that, I will still be skeptical that there could be more frauds. I will communicate this to those charged with governance. So I am making my answer, but I'm making my answer with weightage, with so much core content. I'm not just beating around the bush. Now, this core content that, okay, talk to TCWG, be skeptical, think about segregation of duties, and, think about possible frauds more than this. From where I'm getting this information? Is it common sense? No. This is ISA, International Standards on Auditing. This is what you learn from your lectures and your notes. Your notes, again, are very important. So this is the content that you learn from the lectures, which you apply in the questions. And you use professional words like professional skepticism, internal control weakness. You write about possible fraud. You write about authorization, lack of segregation of duties. All these are professional words. So you can't use common language here. I hope that makes sense to you. But again, if we will be doing more practice, we would understand it better. In the first class, we can't. Ma'am, if there is so much subjectivity, then what is the benefit of giving 100% and then not being sure whether we will pass or not? Okay, see, it's not about that there is a bad pass percentage, so you should not pick up audit. Point is that audit is very industry relevant. Audit is somewhere where everyone wants to work and is working and is easily available in the job market. Then audit is something which is expected out of you automatically if you are an ACCA or chartered accountant, or maybe you are any accounting professional. So few things which people expect you to know is IFRS and auditing and taxation, right? So taxation, because we are studying UK tax and maybe you are not from UK, so you can totally get an excuse that I have done UK taxation, I don't know the international taxation, because there's nothing like international taxation. But auditing, international auditing exists, so people expect you to know that, which is why this is a very relevant and a very important subject. So if you want to grab the importance of that paper, if you want to be industry relevant and you're interested in this paper, then only pick it up. It requires your consistency, hard work, application skills, professional skills, all of the things combined, time management into one aspect to pass the paper in the first go. It will be very difficult to pass in the first go if even you slip by 0.5%, right? So that's what I wanted to discuss with you today in the class. And if you would have any further queries, you can reach out. And if you want to get added into the free WhatsApp group, the global groups, I am putting the number on the screen. You can just drop a hi there and the team would add you into the relevant WhatsApp group. Okay, so there are certain global groups where you can get yourself added for, because there will be a lot of free sessions happening around audit as well. So you can just get yourself in the group. This is the country code, then 9877 637809. So this is the number where you can just reach out to my team and they will just add you into the relevant WhatsApp group of Advanced Audit and Assurance, or SBR, wherever you want to be. That's it. So these are the things that I wanted to cover. If you would have any further queries, again, you can reach out to the team on the given number. I hope it was a helpful session and you've understood the model of blended course where we have recordings, we have live class on the weekends, and then we have Super 20 live classes in the month of November. Then we have grand revisions and then mock debriefs. So that's it for the day, guys. I hope it was a helpful session. Let's begin with the course, with the quarter, with full zeal, consistency, positivity, and I would say blessings of your elders, so that we can make sure that we pass this paper in the first go, right? So all the very best. May God bless you all and see you in the next class. For my enrolled students, it's on 28th of September. And for the self-study students, I'll see you again, maybe in another live class on YouTube or maybe in a video on YouTube. So thank you for sticking by. See you all. Bye-bye. Take care and good night.